everyone, welcome to Wicked.west.books. My name is Meg West, and this is my very last minute January wrap-up for 2017. I had all day yesterday to make a video, and I procrastinated like I always do. So I just got home from work, so I have work hair and work makeup, and we're going to just do this wrap-up very, very quickly. So the first book that I read for the year of 2017 was Cited by Neal Shusterman. This is my first book by Neal Shusterman that I have ever read, even though he is my little sister's absolute favorite author, and she also got a copy of this book as her Christmas present. I want to say that I was absolutely blown away by the level of world building that was in this book. It was well thought out. Any questions I had over the world development were answered a few pages later because it had been thought of already, and it was an absolutely beautiful world building and a beautiful start to a duology, a series. I'm not exactly sure what this is going to end up being, but I am looking forward to the next book. That being said, it was not a very fast-paced read. It was not slow necessarily, but it wasn't very quick-paced. There wasn't too much happening. It was a lot of world development and some character development, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do in this world with it already built for book 2. The second book that I read, I'm actually really excited for because I can already predict that this is going to be one of my favorite books of 2016 for the entire year. That book is A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent, written by Marie Brennan. Now, this book is not only absolutely freaking gorgeous in its cover, because that's the reason I bought it. It was a cover buy, 100% gorgeous, and it was Lockwood who did all of the artwork in the book, so big selling point for me. I do rather like Lockwood's artwork. And it was also a buddy read that I did with my husband for the month, and I was so enthralled. I was so into it. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I don't even like audiobooks, and it was amazing. And I am very excited. There are 3 more books in the series right now, and a new one coming out in April, so that gets added to my most anticipated new releases for the year, and I just absolutely loved it. It's basically a high fantasy told like historical fiction, in that it takes place during kind of the Victorian age of this high fantasy world, where girls are basically told to sit in the corner, find themselves good husbands, and do needlepoint. I have nothing against needlepoint, I've done it myself, but just doing that for my entire life would be very boring. And Isabella, the main character of this book, agrees with me. So she and her husband go off and study some dragons, and I'm really looking forward to see where the series goes from here. And the final 2 books that I read for the month of January was a reread of Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, and I read Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. Now, Passenger was the Booksplosion book of January for last year. Wayfarer was the Booksplosion book for January this year, so I reread where I left off because it's been a year since I've read it, so I needed to reread it. And then I read Wayfarer. Now, as Passenger was just a recap from last year, I'm not going to talk too much about the series. It's a time travel kind of scavenger hunt. I think it's mostly the fact that I didn't really want to be reading Wayfarer, that I didn't like it very much, more than the actual book and the contents itself. I think I just wasn't really in the mood to read Wayfarer, the conclusion to Passenger, right now, right during this month of January, and I had to force myself through it because I didn't realize exactly when the live show was going to be, so I finished it early, and I wasn't too impressed with it, and I think it might just be, 1, I didn't want to read it right now, and 2, I had just finished a book that I wanted to read the next book in, and it wasn't Passenger and Wayfarer. It wasn't my cup of tea this time, but it could be next time, and I'm going to keep my hopes up on that for later. So that's all I have for this video. If you want to tell me below what books you read for the month of January and what your favorite one was, I would love to hear it. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post videos every Thursday or else I lose books. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wicked night.